Oh, cool. I'm just recording everything. Okay, so this is 1.5. Now what we're going to be doing is it's going to be um, investments. With regular payments. Okay, so we did that one example where that guy was able to invest, what was it, like 50 grand for 40 years and just leave it alone, and it came out to over $1 million. In the real world, that's not really viable. You don't really get 50 grand when you're 20 and then be able to retire off of it when you're 60. What you have to do is make payments over the long term, usually monthly after every paycheck or once a year or something like that, and you put that into a savings fund or an investment fund of some kind, and that slowly builds on top of the interest from other stuff, and over time it just gets bigger and bigger and bigger. All right? So I always make the analogy, it's your money tree, and you got to water that tree once a month or it dies. So that's what we're going to look at here. So now you're going to be using that PMT button on your calculator. Okay? You guys okay? No. Okay. So, um, the textbook wants you to be using a bunch of different formulas. We're not going to do that. All right, we're going to go straight into just using the calculator. So we're going to look at example 2 on page 49. Okay, so it says here, Adam made a $200 payment at the end of each year into a single investment that earned 5% compounded annually. Blake made a single investment at 5% compounded annually. At the end of 5 years, which of their future values at the end of 5 years, their future values were equal. What is their future value? And what principal did Blake invest 5 years ago? Who earned more? Okay. So let's start here with Adam. He made a payment $200 per year, 5% annually for 5 years. Okay, so we're going to find out what that was worth. So, future value is unknown. The present value, he started at 0. I just started putting $200 in a year. Okay, so present value is 0. Yeah, PMT 200 though. Okay, I look forward to that. The rate 5%. So your periods 5 times 1. Okay, just hold on. We'll go over that in a sec. Right. You should get like negative $1,105.13. Yeah. $105. Well, we'll make that positive though. And 13 cents. So that's what Adam did, and that's what Adam made. Then there was this other guy. Yeah, term is your period. Well, they made, yeah, this. Well, exactly. The thing what you have to realize is $200, a 5-year term at 5% interest, it isn't that big. This is what you'd want to do for something long term. Like you would want a term of, say, or 20 years. Just do that. Make that 20 and see what you get. So make your periods 20 now. Oh, that's not right. Oh, periods. Yeah, yeah. So that's still, if you did $20,000, yeah, he still makes, right, because $200 a year for 20 years, that's only $4,000. So he's not doing a ton. Um, if you made that monthly, though, so let's say he did monthly for 5 years, so that's 60 payments of $200. Now look at your future value. Oh, hello, right? 70 grand, all 70, yeah, it's just about $71,000. Okay, you changed your periods to 60? No, no, change your compounding still to annually. No, 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 no. The compounding's annually. The periods for this now relates to your payments. Okay. So you're making a $200 payment every month for 5 years. So it's going to add up quite a bit. Uh-huh. Right? That's the power of compound interest. Okay. So that's Adam. Let's look at Blake now, though. Let's go back to this original one. Blake. That's a cool guy name. Blake. So he makes a single investment, so his payment is 0. At 5%. Compounded annually for 5 years. We know his future value is going to be the same. Oh. And we don't know what his present value is. Because it's worth the same, it says. It says after the 5 years, their future values were the same. Yeah, put that in for Blake's. 1,105,13. Payments are 0. No, make sure you have the present value set, open as blank, not 0. Annual rate of 5. Periods 5. Yeah. So Blake clearly is the winner chicken dinner on this one. He invested less money and he made more on it, right? Like Adam, he had to put in $1,000 of his own to make 1,100. Right. So what happens is he put a larger chunk of money up front that was allowed to compound longer on its own. Whereas Adam, his first year only had $200 compounding interest, then 400, then 6, 8, 1,000. Right, it'd be 200. Like the first year, he would have made $10, so it'd be 210. So it'd be 410 the second year. So it builds. Whereas Blake is just building off of $865. So 20% of that would be like $170 the first year. So it makes more. So the more you can put up front on something, the longer it has, the bigger chunk of interest you'll make off of it. Absolutely, you can. Depending on what you're doing and where it's in, like if it's like where your investments are wrapped up. If it's in a tax-free savings account, you can take it out no problem. If it's in another investment account, you'll probably have to pay tax on the interest you make. It's called capital gains. Levi, you had a question. Yeah, with conferences, it's one and done. Yeah. So, yeah. I think there's 5 teams in our conference. Yeah. It's been posted. It's been updated. It could change again, but it's us, Davidson, LCBI, Econia, no, and Hanley. So, out by Kindersley, way, way west. Yeah, we're on one end of the division. They're on the opposite end of the division. So we played them. I don't know. You didn't play that year. You were in grade 8. We played them at Davidson in conferences and lost. So so I haven't heard much about them this year though. So I don't know. But well, that was they were from up north. I can't remember, but Steve, yeah, they had 2 guys on that team that play on the national Aboriginal team. They were incredible. Like when he walked across the half court line and just pointed where he was going to shoot, and opening shot, we knew we were in trouble. Oh yeah, he drained it. Like he was like just over half court, dribbles, points, in. Yeah, they were fun to watch. I'm glad I didn't have to play. Uh, so they were very, very good. We got the like the heads up like minutes before the game that these 2 guys were national players. So we knew we were in for a battle. What's that? Kim told us, Mr. Rediger told us right before the game. Yeah, we didn't. We were like, you guys don't need to know that. So, uh, maybe the like early 2000s. Let's look at example 4 now. Page 52. So, Celia wants to have 300 grand in 20 years. Gentlemen, please. So Celia wants to have 300 grand in 20 years so she can retire. Celia has found a trust account that earns a fixed rate of 10.8% compounded annually. All right. What regular payments must Celia make at the end of each year to meet her goal of $300,000? All right. Yeah. No, that's our future value is 300,000. Yeah, sorry. They say a million's always kind of been the number thrown out there. No, it's gonna probably a little. It's gonna be more than a million now because one thing is well, it's a little more expensive to live, so you got to adjust for that. But people are living longer. Like the average life expectancy right now is like 82 years, 83, and by the time I get there, it could be 88, 90. Like now they're saying people should work till they're 65 and then plan to live for another 30 years after that. And by the time you get to like your late 80s, early 90s, you're going to need some form of assisted living that you're going to have to pay for. Yeah. Well, absolutely, right? Like a big thing about retirement is like, okay, I want to quit work, But then what are you going to do? Right? You got to find something to fill your days with, whether that's some kind of like work that's not as stressful, or golfing every day, or coffee row, or whatever. Okay. So, all right. So let's take a look at this. You got to have your things, right? Your term. Okay. So you want to have a future value of 300K. You got 20-year term to do it with a rate of 10.8%. 10.8%, by the way, is a phenomenal rate. Payments, you're 10.8, yeah. Yeah, compounded annually. Present value 0. You want to know what your payments need to be. Well, let's just see if Sierra is right about that. Yeah. Tell me about it, Jaden. Tell me about it. Okay. So, the payments you should get a yearly payment of 47.81. So Sierra's like, you got to pay almost $5,000 a year, but divide that by 12. If you go 47.81 divided by 12, 300, like $400 a month. Seems like a lot of money right now to you guys, but it's doable as you get older. Okay. And to save in 20 years is aggressive, so you'd have to save more. That's why if you start earlier, you actually don't pay as much. You pay less. Okay? Okay, let's do one more together, then I'm going to turn you guys loose. So, example number 5. Page 53. Okay, Lewis's 20th birthday, he started making a regular $1,000 payment into an investment account at the end of every 6 months. All right? He wants to sit down, save for a down payment for a home. Smart guy. His investment earns 3.5% compounded semi-annually. At what age will he have more than $18,000? Oh, 53. I wrote page, but that's it. So, present value, 0. Payment, 1,000. 1,000. That's the squiggly. Rate. 3.5% is a safe, very low rate. Okay? It's anything under like 5% is considered lowish, but it's considered more safe. Like when you're saving for a house, you don't have a lot of time to like make money, lose money, make money. You kind of want something steady Eddie that you're not going to lose anything on because it's for a house, right? You don't want to be gambling with that. With your retirement, you have 30, 40 years to kind of ride out these waves. So, That's what he's doing. So, payment, and then we want to know his future value. It's going to be 18 large. This is semi-annually too. Okay? Yeah, he wants to save up $18,000. Well, this textbook is already 10 years old. Yeah, your money goes further. You get less money, but it goes way further. Um, 18 grand even 10 years ago. Well, no, this book's probably 15 years old. 15 years ago, that would have been okay. Yeah. What's that? Well, yeah, they're still like even then they were like 300,000 semi-annually. Um, but you save up about 10% for a down payment. Yeah. No, future value is 18. Periods. Sorry. So put your compounding at semi-annually, not semi-monthly. Your rate is 3.5%. What did you guys get for your periods? Why did I get? Why did I get 16? Zero. Oh, did you guys put negative 18 or positive 18? Make sure it's negative. Yeah. Because you can't put the present value as negative zero? Yeah, that's the answer. So that's 15.78 payments, right? And he's doing that twice a year, so if you divide this by 2, you should get like 7.5, just about 8 years. Okay? Let's go roughly. What's that, D? Because this is how many payments you're making, right? And he's making payments twice a year. So you divide it by 2, and that tells you how many years it's going to take him. So that's another thing. This should also, I want to highlight here, it took him 8 years to save up for a down payment on a house. Do you know how easy it would be to rack up $18,000 in credit card debt? Incredibly easy. You could go buy a car with a credit card, and it's more than that. So it's easy to build debt. It takes a lot of work to build savings. All right? And that's the point. The point is not to be like discouraged, be like, well, what's the point? I'll never be able to do it. You just have to be okay with playing the long term. Yeah, you do. Like you got to save for a house, retirement. Then you have kids. Then you need a college fund. You got to play sports. All these things. Okay. Let's go page 55. 5 to 14. Okay. So the quiz on Friday will be everything from 1.4 to 1.5. Yes. Okay. It should be fairly straightforward.